This right here is the known 15-inch Lenovo LOQ gaming laptop, and I've been using it as my primary work and gaming station for the past year. From ray tracing AAA games to dual booting on Linux, programming to video editing, this model has been through a lot in the past year. So here's everything you need to know about it. One of the reasons why I picked this laptop is the clean looking design. Call me old fashioned, but I don't like RGB designs on gaming laptops at all. Like, I don't understand why people still make design models like the ROG Strix or HP Almond. I prefer this much more clean looking design, and while the design looks like aluminium, this thing is plastic and it feels that way, but most of the time you're not going to feel that much because it's most probably going to sit on your desk without you even touching it that much. Let's move on to the display. The display is a 140/40 Hz 15.6 inch display. Unfortunately, this thing is IPS and it's 300 nits of brightness. In the big 2025, I think that's just horrendous screen configurations in terms of the nits brightness. I would forgive the part that it's IPS as long as it would probably, let's say, had 600 nits of brightness, but 300 nits of brightness, it's very low for, let's say, maybe outdoor or maybe in a place where there's a lot of light. I think the display is not its strongest suit, but most people that actually buy these laptops, I think they'll probably pair them with an external display, or in my case, 2 external displays for work. It has 100% sRGB color gamut, and at this price point, you may very rarely find a laptop that has this color gamut at 100%. So in case you want to work professionally on coloring or you do photo editing, these screen colors are quite good. One of the reasons why I picked this one up. Hi guys, my name is Reynald. Welcome to the channel. I'm on my way to reach 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so please hit that subscribe button. Also, let's get this video to 100 likes. It would mean so much to me. Leave your comments down below. I'll read them all. Thank you. It came with 60 gigs of DDR5 RAM. One of the strongest suits of this bad boy is that it's upgradable, so I upgraded it to 32 gigs of RAM. As far as storage, it came with 1 TB of storage, but it also had an empty NVMe compartment for another extra storage, so I put in another Samsung 1 TB of storage. So in total, this thing has 2 TB of storage. It's quite sad that nowadays cheaper laptops have the ability to upgrade your RAM and storage, but more premium laptops take that away from us, like soldering the RAM and the storage on the motherboard a lot of the times. The battery on this thing is not awesome at all. You know how batteries are on Windows laptop, especially on the gaming ones, especially when you're using them at the maximum potential. You don't get this laptop for battery. If you want battery, go with a Snapdragon laptop or a MacBook, because you don't get laptops like this for battery, but rather for raw performance. When I came across this laptop when I was doing my research for a laptop, there was the possibility to get an i7 processor but with an RTX 4050 combo, and so I did a bit of digging and it turned out that it's better to have a better GPU than a better processor. So as far as the performance goes, this thing has an i5 13th generation HX processor, as well as an RTX 4060 80 GB of VRAM. One of my biggest regrets is that I didn't go with the AMD version of this laptop, because not long after I got this laptop, I saw on the news about how Intel latest processor, especially with HX or Ultra Core H processors on laptops and the K versions on desktops, are failing more rapidly than the AMD counterparts for some reason. Apparently it was a motherboard issue, and so if you overclocked your processor, you would wear out it quicker and it would die out sooner. So for me, when I heard the news, I was kind of regretting that I didn't get the AMD version. However, day-to-day navigation on this thing ran pretty smoothly. I don't remember having any trouble with it. Video editing on this thing is smooth, from Premiere Pro to DaVinci as well as After Effects. The only time when it struggles in DaVinci is when I use the Enhancer, which is an external plugin for coloring, and when I try to preview then I would usually get lag. However, that's to be expected when working on video. Other than that, I don't remember having any issue in terms of video working. As far as it comes to gaming, most of the titles like Fortnite, Roblox, Minecraft work pretty smooth on this thing, on Minecraft even hitting 1000 frames per second, which is absolutely insane on Linux, as well as Fortnite usually running at around 100 to 200 frames per second. Gacha games such as Genshin or Wuthering Waves also run pretty smooth, including with being set on the highest performance and ultra settings. However, I have an issue with some of the AAA games such as the Hogwarts Legacy and the Last Jedi Fallen Order game, the Survivor one. But in those games, I think the issue is not a hardware issue as much as the optimization issue, because I've seen a lot of people complaining about the latest AAA games being too demanding and too less optimized for the newest builds, even if they are RTX builds. Funnily enough, older AAA games run smoother and better than the newer ones, which is quite funny because the newer ones are supposed to be optimized already on the newest hardware. Apart from video editing and gaming, in the last period I started picking up programming, especially web developing, on Linux, and the experience is quite nice. I dual boot it and I don't have any issue at all with the dual boot. It's been rock solid for the past year and it's quite worth it if you know how to do it. The audio is not loud as it should be, but at this price range you're most likely gonna use headphones anyway, especially when those heavy fans hit. Yes, it's very loud, but that's to be expected from this type of laptops. I really hope that ARM laptops really pick up and they'll be very well optimized in the future so that I can switch to an ARM laptop. I got this bad boy for 1000 euros 1 year ago. One big plus in this laptop is that it's upgradable from the RAM to the storage. You can change the Wi-Fi card yourself. You can even access the processor yourself, so that's a huge thing. Nowadays everything is soldered in and you can't even open your laptop anymore in many laptops. I had one issue with my Wi-Fi. About half a year into using this laptop, my Wi-Fi card burned. It had a
Intel AX201,
and then I sent it to the people to repair it, and they replaced it with an
Intel AX203,
which is a worse version of the initial Wi-Fi card I had. That can be fixed very easily if I order the proper one and replace it myself, but I don't think that should have been the case, especially that, you know, it was still under warranty. One of the things that I love about this laptop is the keyboard. I think Lenovo makes one of the best keyboards on the market out there. The touchpad, it's quite nice, but it gets in the way a lot of the time if you do arm resting on the laptop. But if you use an external keyboard, you'll not have that issue. At the end of the day, should you get this thing, or maybe should you get a gaming PC, or should you get, I don't know, another laptop variant? I think that depends on what your needs are. For me, I came from an older PC to this laptop and I've definitely seen the performance boost. However, I think the PC has more stability in general because it has better cooling, more fans, and it comes in a bigger factory. So in case you don't want to, like, you have an office and you just leave things as they are, I would go with a PC. But in case you want some portability, you know, maybe carrying your laptop somewhere like I needed in some cases, I would definitely recommend for you to buy a laptop like this one. In this price range, I think the only equivalence that you might find is an ROG Strix and an HP Victus, but I don't think those are really better contenders than this one, especially on the display that a lot of them didn't have a good coloring display. That's been my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.